Chapter 2, Making of the Constitution. Demand for the Constituent Assembly. It was in 1934 that the idea of a Constituent Assembly for India was put forward for the first time by M. N. Roy, a pioneer, pioneer of the communist movement in India. In 1935, the Indian National Congress, for the first time, officially demanded a Constituent Assembly to frame the Constitution of India. In 1938, Jawaharlal Nehru, on behalf of the INC, declared that the Constitution of Free India must be framed without outside interference by a Constituent Assembly elected on the basis of adult franchise. This view was endorsed and retained by the INC by passing a resolution in 1939. The demand was accepted in principle by the British government in what is known as the August Offer of 1940. In 1942, Sir Stafford Cripps, a member of the cabinet, come to India with a draft proposal of the British government on the farming of an independent constitution to be adopted after World War II. The Cripps proposal were rejected by the Muslim League, which wanted India to be divided into two autonomous states with two separate constituent assembly. Finally, a cabinet mission was sent to India. While it rejected the idea of two constituent assemblies, it put forth a scheme for the constituent assembly which more or less satisfied the Muslim League. Composition of the Constituent Assembly. The Constituent Assembly was constituted in November 1946 under the scheme formulated by the Cabinet Mission Plan. The features of the scheme were: the total strength of the Constituent Assembly was to be 389. Of these, 296 seats were to be allotted to British India and 93 seats to the princely states. Out of 296 seats allotted to British India, 292 members were to be drawn from the 11 governors provinces and 4 from the 4 chief commissioners provinces, 1 from each. Each province and princely state or group of states, in case of small states, were to be allotted seats in proportion to their respective population. Rudely, one seat was to be allotted for every million population. Seats allocated to each British province were to be divided among the three principal communities: Muslim, Sikhs, and General, all except Muslim and Sikhs, in proportion to their population. The representative of each community were to be elected by members of that community in the provisional legislative assembly, and voting was to be by the method of proportional representation by means of single transferable vote. The representative of the princely states were to be nominated by the head of the princely states. It is thus clear that the Constituent Assembly was to be a partly elected and partly nominated body. Moreover, the members were to be indirectly elected by the members of the provincial assemblies, who themselves were elected on limited franchise. The elections to the Constituent Assembly for 296 seats allotted to the British Indian provinces were held in July-August 1946. The Indian National Congress won 208 seats, the Muslim League 73 seats, and the small groups and independents got the remaining 15 seats. However, the 93 seats allotted to the princely states were not filled, as they decided to stay away from the Constituent Assembly. Although the Constituent Assembly was not directly elected by the people of India on the basis of adult franchise, the Assembly comprised representatives of all sections of Indian society: Hindu, Muslim, Sikh, Parsis, Anglo Indians, Indian Christians, SCs, STs, including women of all those sections, The assembly included all important personalities of India at that time, with the exception of Mahatma Gandhi. The allocation of seats in the Constituent Assembly, the results of the elections to the Constituent Assembly, the community-wise representation in the Constituent Assembly, and the women members of the Constituent Assembly are mentioned in Table 2.1, 2.1, 2.3 and 2.4 respectively. Working of the Constituent Assembly. The Constituent Assembly held its first meeting on December 9, 1946. The Muslim League boycotted the meeting and instead on a separate state of Pakistan. The meeting was thus attended by only 207 members. Dr. Sachidanand Sinha, the oldest member, was elected as the temporary chairman of the assembly following the French practice. On December 11, 1946, Dr. Rajendra Prasad was elected as the permanent chairman, president of the assembly. Similarly, on January 25, 1946, H. C. Mukherjee was elected as the vice president of the assembly. Later on, the assembly resolved to have two vice presidents. Accordingly, on July 16, 1947, V. T. Krishnamachari was elected as the second vice president of the assembly. Objectives resolution. On December 13, 1946, Jawaharlal Nehru moved the historic objective resolution in assembly. It laid down the fundamentals and philosophy of the constitutional structure. It read, the Constituent Assembly declared its firm and solemn resolve to proclaim India as an independent sovereign republic and to draw up for her future governance a constitution wherein the territories that now comprise British India, the territories that now form of form the Indian states, and such other parts of India as are outside India, and the state as well as other territories as are willing to be constituted into the independent sovereign India shall be a union of them all, and wherein the said territories, whether with their present boundaries or with such other as may be determined by the Constituent Assembly, and thereafter, according to the law of the Constitution, shall possess and retain the status of autonomous units together with residuary powers and exercise all powers and functions of government and administration save and except such power and functions as are vested in or assigned to the union or as are inherent or implied in the union or resulting therefrom and wherein all powers and authority of the sovereign independent India, its constituents, parts and organs of government are derived from the people, and wherein shall be guaranteed and secured to all the people of India justice, social, economic and political equality of status of opportunity and before the law, freedom of thought, expression, belief, faith, worship, vocation, association and action, subject to law and public morality, and wherein adequate safeguards shall be provided of minorities, backward and tribal areas, and depressed and other backward classes, and whereby shall be maintained the integrity of the territory of the republic and its sovereign rights on hand, sea and air according to justice and the law of civilized nations, and this ancient land attains its rightful and honored place in the world and makes it full and willing contribution to the promotion of world peace and the welfare of mankind. This resolution was unanimously adopted by the Assembly on January 22, 1947. It influenced the eventual shaping of the Constitution through all its subsequent stages. Its modified version formed the preamble of the present Constitution. Changes by the Independence Act. The representatives of the princely states who had stayed away from the Constituent Assembly gradually joined it on April 28, 1947. Representatives of the six states were part the assembly after the acceptance of the Mountbatten Plan of June 3, 1947 for the partition of the country. The representatives of most of the order princely states took their seats in the assembly. The members of the Muslim League from the Indian Dominion also entered the assembly. The Indian Independence Act 1947 made the following three changes in the position of the assembly. 1. Assembly was made a fully sovereign body which could frame any constitution it pleased. The act empowered the assembly to abrogate or alter any law made by the British Parliament in relation to India. The assembly also became a legislative body. In other words, two separate functions were assigned to the assembly, that is making of the constitution for free India and enacting of ordinary laws for the country. These two tasks were to be performed on separate days. Thus, the assembly became the first parliament of Free India Dominion legislature. Whenever the assembly met as the constituent body, it was chaired by Dr. Rajendra Prasad, and when it met as the legislative body, it was chaired by G.V. Mavlankar. These two functions continued till November 26, 1947, when the task of making the constitution was over. The Muslim League members hauling from the areas including in the Pakistan withdraw from the Constituent Assembly for India. Consequently, the total strength of the assembly come down to 299, assigned 389 originally fixed in 1946 under the Cabinet Mission Plan. The strength of the Indian provinces from formerly British provinces was reduced from 296 to 229, and those of the princely states from 93 to 70. The state-wise membership of the assembly as on December 31, 1947 is shown in table 2.5. Other functions performed: in addition to the making of the constitution and enacting of ordinary laws, the Constituent Assembly also performed the following functions. It ratified India's membership of the Commonwealth in May 1949. It adopted the national flag on July 22, 1947. It adopted the national anthem on January 24, 1950. It adopted the national song on January 24, 1950. It elected Dr. Rajendra Prasad as the first President of India on January 24, 1950. In all, the Constituent Assembly had 11 sessions over 2 years, 11 months, and 18 days. The constitution makers had gone through the constitutions of about 60 countries, and the draft constitution was considered for 114 days. The total expenditure incurred of making the constitution amount to 64 lakh rupees. On January 24, 1950, the Constituent Assembly held its first final session. It, however, did not end and continued as the Provincial Parliament and of India from January 26, 1950 till the formation of new parliament after the first generation elections in 1951-52. The complete list of the sessions of the Constituent Assembly is given in table 2.6. Committees of the Constituent Assembly. The Constituent Assembly appointed a number of committees to deal with different tasks of constitution making. Out of these, 8 were major committees and the others were minor committees. The name of these committees and their chairmen are given below. Major committees: Union Power Committees, Jawaharlal Nehru; Union Constitution Committee, Jawaharlal Nehru; Provincial Constitution Committee, Sardar Patel; Drafting Committee, Dr. B.R. Ambedkar; Advisory Committee on Fundamental Rights, Minorities and Tribal and Excluded Areas, Sardar Patel. This committee had the following 5 subcommittees: Fundamental Right Subcommittee, J.B. Kriplani; Minorities Subcommittee, H.C. Mukherjee; North East frontier tribal areas and Assam excluded and partially excluded area subcommittee. Gopinath Bardloi excluded and partially excluded areas other than those in Assam subcommittee. A.V. Thakkar Northwest Frontier Tribal Area Subcommittee. Rules of Procedure Committee Dr. Rajendra Prasad. States Committee for Negative Negotiating with States Jawaharlal Nehru. Streaming Committee Dr. Rajendra Prasad. Minor Committees Finance and Staff Committee Dr. Rajendra Prasad. Credential Committee Alladi Krishna Swami Iyer. House Committee B. Pattavi Sitaramaiya. Order of Business Committee Dr. K. M. Munshi. Ad hoc Committee on the National Flag Dr. Rajendra Prasad. Committee on the Functions of the Constituent Assembly G. V. Mavlankar. Ad hoc Committee on the Supreme Court S. Vardhana Vardachari, non an assembly member. Committee on Chief Commissioner Provinces B. Pattavi Sitaramaiya. Expert Committee on the Financial Provisions of the Union Constitution Nilani Rajan Sarkar, not an assembly member. Linguistic Provinces Commission S. Kedhar, not an assembly member. Special Committee to examine the draft Constitution Jawaharlal Nehru. Press Gallery Committee Usha Nath Sen. Ad hoc Committee on Citizenship S. Vardhanachari, not an assembly member. Drafting Committee. Among all the committees of the Constituent Assembly, the most important committee was the Drafting Committee, set up on August 29, 1947. It was this committee that was entrusted with the task of preparing a draft of the new constitution. It consisted of 7 members. They were Dr. B.R. Ambedkar, Chairman, N. Gopalaswamy Iyengar, Alladi Krishna Swami Iyer, Dr. K. M. Munshi, Sayyid Muhammad Sadullah, and Madhava Rao. He replaced B. L. Mittal, who resigned due to ill health. T. T. Krishnamachari. He replaced D. P. Khaitan, who died in 1948. The drafting committee, after taking into consideration the proposals of the various committees, prepared the first draft of the Constitution of India, which was published in February 1948. The people of India were given 8 months to discuss the draft and propose amendments. In light of the public comments, criticisms, and suggestions, the drafting committee prepared a second draft, which was published in October 1948. The drafting committee took less than 6 months to prepare its draft. In all, it sat only for 141 days. Enactment of the Constitution. Dr. B.R. Ambedkar introduced the final draft of the Constitution in the Assembly on November 4, 1948, first reading. The Assembly had a general discussion on it for 5 days till November 1948. The second reading, casual by clause consideration, started on November 15, 1948 and ended on October 17, 1490. During this stage, as many as 7,653 amendments were proposed and 2,473 were actually discussed in the Assembly. The third reading of the draft started on November 14, 1949. Dr. B.R. Ambedkar moved a motion, the Constitution as settled by the Assembly be passed. The motion on draft Constitution was declared as passed on November 26, 1949 and received the signatures of the members and the President. Out of a total 299 members of the Assembly, only 284 were actually present on that day and signed the Constitution. This is also the date mentioned in the preamble as the date on which the people of India in the Constituent Assembly adopted, enacted, and gave themselves the Constitution. The Constitution, as adopted on November 26, 1949, contained a preamble, 395 articles, 8 schedules. The preamble was enacted after the entire Constitution was already enacted. Dr. B.R. Ambedkar, that then Law Minister, piloted Allotted the draft constitution in the assembly. He took a very prominent part in the deliberations of the assembly. He was known for his logical, forceful, and persuasive arguments on the floor of the assembly. He is recognized as the father of the Constitution of India. This brilliant writer, constitutional expert, and undisputed leader of the scheduled caste is also known as the chief architect of the Constitution of India. On November 19, 2015, the Government of India has declared to celebrate the November 26th of every year as the Constitution Day, Samvidhan Divas, to promote constitutional values among citizens. Some provisions of the Constitution pertaining to citizenship, elections, provisional parliament, temporary and transitional provisions, and short title contained in Article 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 60, 324, 366, 367, 379, 380, 388, 391, 392, and 390 come into force on November 26, 1949 itself. The remaining provisions, the major part of the Constitution, come into force on January 26, 1950. This day is referred to the Constitution as the date of its com- commencement and celebrated as the Republic Day. January 26 was specifically chosen as the date of commencement of the Constitution because of its historical importance. It was this day in 1930 that Purna Swaraj Day was celebrated following the resolution of the Lahore session December 1929 of the Indian National Congress. With the commencement 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 of the Constitution, the Indian Independence Act of 1947, and the Government of India Act of 1935, with all enactments amending or supplementing the latter act, were replaced. The abolition of Privy Council Jurisdiction Act 1949 was, however, continued. Experts Committee of the Congress. While election to the Constituent Assembly were still in progress on July 8, 1946, the Congress Party Indian National Congress appointed an experts committee for the purpose of preparing material for the Constituent Assembly. This committee consisted of the following members: Jawaharlal Nehru, Chairman; M. Asaf Ali, K. M. Munshi, N. Gopalaswamy Iyengar, K. T. Shah, D. R. Gadgil, Humayun Kabir, K. Santhanam. Later, on the chairman's proposal, it was resolved that Krishna Kriplani be co-operated as member and convener of the committee. The committee had two sittings, the first at New Delhi from July 20 and 22, 1946, and the second at Bombay from August 15 to 17, 1946. Apart from a number of notes prepared by its members, the committee discussed the procedure to be adopted by the Constituent Assembly, the question of the appointment of various committees, and the draft of a resolution on the objectives of the Constitution to be moved during the first session of the Constituent Assembly. On the role played by this committee in the making of the Constitution, Gravelin Austin, an American constitutional expert, observed, "It was the Congress Experts Committee that set in India on the road to her present constitution. The committee members working within the framework of the Cabinet Mission Scheme made general suggestions about autonomous areas, the powers of the provincial governments and the center, and about such issue as the princely states and the amending power. They also drafted a resolution closely resembling the objectives resolution." Criticism of the Constitution's Assembly. The critics have criticized the Constituent Assembly on various grounds. There are as follows: not a representative body. The critics have argued that the Constituent Assembly was not a representative body as its members were not directly elected by the people of India in the basis of universal adult franchise, not a sovereign body. The critics mentioned that the Constituent Assembly was not a sovereign body as it was created by the proposal of the British government. Further, they said that the assembly held its sessions with the permission of the British government. Time consuming. According to the critics, the Constituent Assembly took an unduly long time to make the constitution. They stated that the frames of the American constitutions took only 4 months to complete their work. In this context, Naziruddin Ahmad, a member of the Constituent Assembly, coined a new name for the drafting committees to show his contempt for it. He called it drafting committee. The time taken by the framers of the other constitution is given in table 2.9 2.7. Dominated by Congress, the critics changed that the Constituent Assembly was dominated by the Congress party. In this context, Grenville Austin, an American constitutional expert, remarked the Constituent Assembly was one party body in an essentially one party country. The assembly was the Congress and the Congress was India. Lawyer politician domination. It is also mentioned by the critics that the Constituent Assembly was dominated by lawyer and politicians. They pointed out that other sections of the society were not sufficiently represented. This to them is the main reason for the bulkiness and complicated language of the constitution. Dominated by Hindus, according to some critics, the Constituent Assembly was a Hindu dominion body. Lord Viscount Simon called it a body of Hindus. Similarly, Winston Churchill commented that the Constituent Assembly represented only one major community in India. Important facts: the elephant was adopted the symbol seal the Constituent Assembly. Sir B.M. Rao was appointed as a constitutional advisor, legal advisor to the Constituent Assembly. H.V.R. Iyengar was the secretary of the Constituent Assembly. S.N. Mukherjee was the chief draftsman of the Constituent in the Constituent Assembly. Prem Bihari Narayan Raizada was the calligrapher of the Indian Constitution. The original Constitution was handwritten by him in the flowing italic style. The original version was beautified and decorated by artists from Shanti Niketan, including Nandlal Bose and Bewhar Ram Manohar Sinha. Bewhar Ram Manohar Sinha illuminated, beautified, and ornamented the original preamble, calligraphed by Prem Bihari Narayan Raizada. The calligraph of the Hindi version of the original constitution was done by Vasant Krishan Vaidya and elegantly decorated and illuminated by Nandlal Bose. Hindi text of the constitution. Originally, the Constitution of India did not make any provision with respect to the authoritative text of constitution in the Hindi language. Later, a provision in this regard was made by the 58th Constitutional Amendment Act 1987. This amendment inserted a new article 394A in the last part of the constitution. Part 22. This article contains the following provisions: the President shall cause to be published under his authority the translation of the constitution in Hindi language, the modification which are necessary to bring it in conformity with the language, style, terminology adopted in the authoritative text of the central acts in Hindi can be made in it. All the amendments of the constitution made before such publication should be incorporated in it. The translation in Hindi of every amendment of the constitution made in English. The translation of the constitution and its every amendment published shall be construed to have the same meaning as the original text in English. If any difficulty arises in these matters, the President shall cause the Hindi text to be revised situably. The translation of the Constitution and its every amendment published shall be deemed to be for all purpose its authoritative text in Hindi. Allocation of seats in the Constituent Assembly of India 1946. British Indian provinces 292 seats, princely states 93, chief commissioner provinces 4, total 389. Name of the party: Seized 1, Congress 208, Muslim League 73, Unionist Party 1, Unionist Muslim 1, Unionist Scheduled Caste 1, Krishak Praja Party 1, Scheduled Caste Federation 1, 6, Non-Congress 1, Communist Party 1, Independents 1, total 296. Community-wise representation of the in the Constituent Assembly 1946: Hindu 163, Muslim 80, Scheduled Caste 31, Indian Christian 6, backward tribe 6, 4, Anglo-Indians 3, Parsis 3, total 296. Women member of the Constituent Assembly: Amu Swaminathan, Madras General; Annie Mascherano, Travancore and Cochin Union; Begum Aziz Rasul, United Provinces Muslim; Dakshiani Velyudan, Madras General; G. Durgabai, Madras General; Hansa Mehta, Bombay General; Kamla Chaudhary, United Provinces General; Leela Rai, West Bengal General; Malati Chaudhary, Orissa General; Purnima Banerjee, United Provinces General; Rajkumari Amrit Kaur, Central Provinces in Badar General; Renuka Roy, West Bengal General; Sarojini Naidu, Bihar General; Suchita Kripalani, United Provinces General; Vijay Lakshmi Pandit, United Provinces General. In total, the Constituent Assembly had 15 women members. Selected speeches of women members of the Constituent Assembly, Rajya Sabha Secretariat 2012. State-wise membership of the Constituent Assembly of India on December 31, 1947. Provinces: Indian provinces 299, Madras 49, Bombay 21, West Bengal 90, United Provinces 55, East Punjab 12, Bihar 36, CP and Berar 70, Assam 8, Orissa 9, Delhi 1, Ajmer Marwar 1, Kurg 1. Indian state: Princely State 70, Alwar 1, Baroda 3, Bhopal 1, Bikaner 1, Cochin 1, Gwalior 4, Indore 1, Jaipur 3, Jodhpur 2, Kolhapur 1, Kota 1, Mayurbhanj 1, Mysore 7, Patiala 2, Rewa 2, Travancore 6, Udaipur 2, Sikkim and Kutch Bihar Group, Behar Group 1, Tripura, Manipur and Khasi State Group 1, UP States Group 1, Eastern Rajputana States Group 3, Central India States Group including Bundelkhand and Malwa 3, Western India State Group 4, Gujarat States Group 2, Deccan and Madras State Group 2, Punjab State Group 3, Eastern State Group 4, Eastern State Group 3, Eastern State Group 2, 3, Residentiary States Group 4, total 299. Session of the Constituent Assembly at glance: first session December 9 to 23, 1946; second session January 20 to 25, 1947; third session April 28 to May 2, 1947; fourth session July 14 to 31, 1946; fifth session August 14 to 30, 1947; sixth session January 27 to 1948; seventh session November 4, 1948 to January 14, 1949; eighth session May 16 June to 16, 1949; ninth session July 30 to September 18, 1949; 10th session October 6 to 17, 1949; 11th session November 14 to 26, 1949. Note: the Assembly met once again on January 24, 1950, when the members appended their signatures the Constitution of India. Time taken by the framers of the Constitution. USA Number of articles 7. Working period May 25, 1787 to September 17, 1787, less than 4 months. Canada 147, October 10, 1864 to March 1867, about 2 years and 6 months. Australia, number of article 128, March 1891 to 9 19, July 9 1900, about 9 years. South Africa, total number of article 153, October 1908 to September 2019, 1 year. Articles released to short title commencement Hindi text and replaced at the glance. Subject matter 393 short title, 394 commencement, 394A authoritative text in Hindi language, 395 replaced. The cabinet mission consists of the three members: Lord Patrick Lawrence, Sir Stafford Cripps, and A.V. Alexander arrived in India on March 24, 1946. The cabinet mission published its plan on May 16, 1946. These include Madras, Bombay, UP, Bihar, Central Provinces, Orissa, Punjab, NWFP, नॉर्थ वेस्ट फ्रंटाइज प्रोविजन, ऐसा कुछ तो है, सिंध, बंगाल एंड असम. दिस इंक्लूड्स दिल्ली, अजमेर, मेरवारा, कुर्ग एंड ब्रिटिश बलूचिस्तान. The Government of India Act of 1935 granted limited franchise on the basis of tax, property, and other qualifications. These include Baroda, Bikaner, Jaipur, Patiala, Rewa, and Udaipur. For the first time, the Constituent Assembly met as Dominion Legislative on November 17, 1947 and elected G.V. Mavlankar as its Speaker. These are West Punjab, East Bengal, NWFP, Sindh, Balochistan, and silent districts of Assam. A separate Constituent Assembly was set up for Pakistan. The Provisional Parliament ceased to exist on April 17, 1952. The first elected parliament with the two houses come into being in May 1952. One of the political consequences of the British government statements of June 3, 1947 was that following a referendum, the northwest frontier province, the Balochistan, became part of the territory of the Dominion of Pakistan, and as a result, the tribal areas in this region become a concern of that Dominion. The subcommittee on the tribal areas in the northwest frontier province and Balochistan was not therefore called upon the function on behalf of the Constituent Assembly of India. B. Shiva Rao, The Framing of the India's Constitution, Selected Documents, Volume 3, p. 618. Okay, the member of the subcommittee were Khan Abdul Ghaffar Khan, Khan Abdul Sahmat Khan, and Meher Chand Khana. The information about the chairman is not found. Thank you.